the 4th of July, and it's a good day for a little crop update. Hopefully everybody has a chance to unwind today and maybe relax. I know I have the day off of work, so a good chance to come out here and take a look at some stuff. This field I'm in here, this was the first corn of my own that I planted back on May 20th, and I did a report in this field last year. Actually, it looks a little better this year than it did last year at this point. We did just get some rain. They must have got a little bit of rain over here yesterday afternoon. This is, probably 4 miles south of my house and 3 to 4 miles east. And we just had a little bit of rain, maybe a tenth at the most, but this ground's pretty wet here. Now the day before we had 2 inches at home, but I don't think they had much over this way, because when I went to work yesterday the fields were pretty dry over in this area. But yeah, last year, it's pretty uneven, as you can see, or maybe you can see. But last year there was a huge area right in front of me here that never really came up. There were several rows, but here this year it's just I see a couple rows here that never came up. And there's a couple spots. It's not horrible. But I don't know what it is about this area right here. It must lay wet, or there's something going on here, because nothing grew here last year either. But I had kind of a similar start to this year, the same as last. Within 2 days after I planted this, it had a pretty good rain, probably a couple of inches. So it got pounded on it right at the get-go. I did the same thing last year. While I was planting it, it got hammered with rain, and it really hampered a lot of it from coming up. But at least this year it wasn't quite as bad. I had a couple of days in the ground, and we were kind of hot and a little dry at that point. But it is what it is. It looks like it's a little more even over here on the long part. I'm not going to walk through the whole field. I'm going to try and keep this in each field to a little minimum. There's a little spot here that didn't come up. That could have been the planter too. Well, no. Looks like I got most of the way out. But anyhow, last year at this time when I made an update in this, I had water laying in a couple spots, and we're not that wet this year, but this area right here was wet last year, laying wet. It's filled in a little better this year. As far as height, I don't know if you can see that. That's about knee high there, but if you get out in a couple of those other spots, it's chest high, so it's pretty good variance in height. And that could be compaction and lots of different factors. But overall, I don't know. It'll make something. But we've been very hot and very humid. But we have been getting rain, so there's a bare spot over there. There again, that's probably the field. This is just the second year I've farmed this ground, so I'm still learning. But I got a lot better emergence this year than I did last. And now since I had corn in here, I planted conventional corn in here last year. This year this is 4 rows of triple stack and 2 rows of Roundup Ready. Boy, I had a pretty good gap here for my refuge, so it's the stack is supposed to be a good corn on corn variety. Ooh. Better get that out of the field. I don't know where in the hell that came from, but don't need to run over that. And then beside here, you see those trees over there. That was the neighbor's front yard. Jeff Raymond did a live stream a while back. I forget what he was even doing. He might have been planting or something. And I made a comment about plowing up a guy's front yard, and that's it right there. It's roughly, I don't know what it is. It's between an acre and a quarter, I think. I stepped it off. It's like 120 feet wide. I never walked the length of it. But I kind of estimated roughly an acre and a quarter. And that corn looks beautiful. That's the nicest looking corn I have, actually. Of course, it's the smallest field I have. But I don't know what it is about that ground. It's right beside this. This looks kind of crappy. That stuff's head high. Probably over my head in some spots. Now the edges are a little thin, or a little lower, but I tried to stay back from these trees. But yeah, I'm not going to go out in that because it's pretty well, I'm already soaked. But some of that corn's over my head already, so. But it was farmed years ago from what I'm told. Somebody had, I don't know what they did with it, but actually I will go out right here. There's a little thin spot. This is the same corn, triple stack, and yeah, you can see here, I'm 6 feet roughly. These glasses are down from the top of my head a little bit, but that corn's 7 feet tall right there. Yeah, this stuff looks absolutely beautiful. But it was all prepped the same way. I turned this over with a moldboard plow. The field next, the 5 acres was chiseled. It was all worked, you know, disked and mulched. And it was all sprayed the same. Lexar and some other junk, and then 40 or 50 gallons of 28 to the acre. Hello, rabbit. On that. So once it was sprayed, it was done. Didn't have to get back in it. I got another field I'll show you after a bit that was done a little different. So that'll wrap this one up. I think I'll go to a bean field, the beans next, and show you those, and I'll keep moving on my crop tour today. Stay tuned.